Alright guys, we're kind of going to do a part one here of this preparation slash build series thing that I want to do. Basically the goal is to make this bike, 2018 YZ450, a sort of, I don't like the term, but bug out bike. I don't know what else to call it, but basically I'm increasing its capability and not, I don't know how to even say it. I'm increasing its freaking capability. It's a freaking motocross bike. So outside of that scope, it's very limited. And that's just, for various reasons, because motocross bikes don't need big tanks. They don't need huge output stators. They don't need all the stuff that, dual sports do. So essentially, we're going to try to make this almost a dual sport. And the goal for this is to kind of just showcase what you can do with what you have. This is what I have on hand. I can't afford to go and go buy a new bike. So this is what I got. I'm going to try to keep it under a certain budget. I'm thinking $1,000, but pricing it out, that doesn't seem realistic. But we're going to try to keep as low as we can. So first thing is first, and I honestly didn't mean to do it this way. It's just kind of how it happened. And this isn't any particular order of precedence. Like, I wouldn't put this over anything else. But I put the quad lock wireless charger slash phone mount on here. And I did this just to have a mount for my phone. And then I was like, well, I want to be able to charge my phone if it's going to be on all the time. And also just have a way of charging stuff. So essentially it does three things, which, like redundancies and the rule of three, as far as your redundancies, is pretty good. So it holds my phone, it charges it, and it's got a USB connector down there, so I can charge other USB powered devices. And the install was, honestly, it's pretty straightforward. It wasn't that hard. The biggest challenge is routing your cables, and that was really it. One thing I will say though, if you are running a lithium ion battery like this one is, then you cannot use the feature of this guy right here. This is their USB adapter, and it's got three modes. It's got off, on, and auto. Auto basically means once the battery drops below a certain threshold, it will shut it off. And then once your bike is on and your battery goes above a certain voltage, it'll turn back on and start charging. Well, on these lithium ion batteries, their voltage is too high to allow for that, and I didn't know that. So I left it on and it ran my battery dead. So that's why I have it kind of dangling down here, just so I can reach up under here and turn it on. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's what I'm working with here. It's the best solution I found so far, other than maybe mounting it up here, which I don't want to clutter up the cockpit too much. So that's the best solution I've found so far. And you guys, if you've seen some of the other videos, it's been on those, and it's honestly great. So I have their Pro mount here, and this is all aluminum. And then I have the vibration dampener, which this thing just, honestly, it rattles like crazy, but it does a really good job of dampening the vibration. I will say though, if you are trying to look at your screen while you're riding and you're going semi-fast or some semi-bumpy terrain, it's gonna reflect a lot of light, and you're not really gonna be able to read it or see it until you slow down. So that's just something to be aware of. I didn't know that. I didn't know a lot of this. It was kind of a learning point for me, and it wasn't covered anywhere else. So I thought I'd cover that, and maybe put some ride footage against this. So yeah, so that was the first thing I did. I got the connector connection point right here. It is zip tied, and then it runs under the air box here, down, kind of zips through, up through here, and then into the battery. And you can run it a couple different ways. I just chose to do the terminals. I don't believe it comes with alligator clips. It does have an inline fuse though, which is pretty nice. And then it does also hook you up with a SAE connection right here, which is kind of just wedged under there. Under this bike, it really doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of room for stuff, so we gotta make do where we can.
We open it up and we're gonna throw on our Onyx off-road here, so I can see where the hell I'm going. Just watch it. Oh shit. Just watch it kind of bounce around as we keep going here. Super sandy, holy hell. So you know, how is it for your normal everyday adventure rider? Even so, like, damn it, we'll hit these just some regular roads here, dirt roads, and even some of those might be a bit too bumpy for ADV guys. But just kind of, you know, I'm trying to see where I'm at on the map here. And it is a little bumpy. Granted, it doesn't look as bad right now because the sun is going down, and so we're not getting a whole lot of reflection and glare. But you know, for the type of riding that I do, which is mostly just ripping single track, 50-inch, whatever, this will do great. Again, for adventure guys, it's great. But I also do like to go fast as I can out in the desert. And sometimes it is too like bouncy because I have that anti-vibration mount on here as well. But all in all, I think this is it's an expensive price point. The entry to get into it's pretty expensive to get this set up, at least. It was, I think, about $250. But that was with all of this, minus the phone, obviously. But so for the wireless charging head, the anti-vibration mount, the Pro mount, and then the USB adapter and the phone case, I didn't already say that, was about $250. But then is what that kind of forced me to do was change my mounting setup on or in my truck. So I had to get a quad lock mount for it because I just had like a Scosche magnetic one. That, like, it was fine, dude. It was like $12, and for $12, it's probably some of the best $12 I've ever spent, honestly. But then how does that fit into this bug out bike model or build, I guess, or the model? There's a certain model to it, I guess. How does that fit into it? Well, it does give me a few options here aside from just holding my phone. You know, aiding in my navigation. I can keep my phone always open, you know, always on the screen, without fear of my battery running down because it's charging. But it holds my phone, and it also allows me to use anything USB because it has a USB-A connector down here. I have it what's it called, zip tied. So
so in the next video, I don't know what I'm gonna prioritize yet, but I know in the first one we had that quad lock phone charger, the wireless one, and that's not what I'd prioritize. I'd prioritize more fuel before anything else, and then I think I'm gonna do lights next. So prioritize lights. I do have a Oxbow helmet light, and I'll do a review on that, but that's not going to be what I'm going to go ahead and like put into the build. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stick around, and we're going to have more shenanigans and other cheeky fun stuff. Alright, see you guys later.